Hey, what's up, guys? In this episode, I'm going to talk about how to promote your cover band with Facebook ads. Welcome to the Badass Band Leader Show. In this show, we talk about how to take your band to the next level, regardless if it's a cover band, if you do all originals, or something in between. Be sure to subscribe if you like what I'm laying down. Okay, again, in this episode, I'm going to talk about a topic that is near and dear to my heart, and that is Facebook advertising for cover bands. Now, there are a lot of these sort of like music marketing guru guys out there that are talking about how to promote your original music or how to sell original music using Facebook ads, and it's great for that too. But I can't really find anybody who's talking about how to promote your cover band if you're playing just like weekly gigs, Friday, Saturday nights at the local bars or wherever you're playing, and how to get people there. So that is something that our band has been doing since the very beginning. My name is Barry Nicholson. I'm in a band called Reverend Barry and the Funk. We're an 8-piece band that plays like funk music. We have a 3-piece horn section. We're from Sarasota, Florida. We've been together for about 5.5 years, and we've used Facebook advertising, paid advertising, since day one. The reason I did that is because I actually still have a day gig. I'm a marketing guy in my day gig, and I knew that Facebook advertising was extremely effective for pretty much every business that I've ever run ads for. And so I knew my band wouldn't be any different, and it has. It's proven to be very successful for us. We've been blessed. We played for pretty much packed houses. I mean, a lot. Most of the time that we play, the place is full. And needless to say, that's enabled us to, demand more money from these venues. Plus, it's enabled us to actually build up a huge following in the area that we have since turned around over the last few years. And we're starting to sell tickets to our own shows. We actually rent out venues and we sell tickets mostly to people who are our Facebook following. And we're selling tickets now for 10, last year it was like $10. Now we're going up to 15. We're doing some very interesting things there with our cover band stuff. And plus now we're also venturing off into do originals in other markets, brand new markets, and we're using Facebook ads to do that. So what's the big deal about Facebook? Well, you may be watching this on YouTube, listening to this on a podcast. Maybe you're not really into Facebook, or maybe you think that your crowd is like, too young. People have this impression that young people are not on Facebook. They're all on Instagram or Snapchat. That has not particularly been my experience. But then again, we promote to an older crowd, but you can also do Instagram advertising through the Facebook ads platform because Facebook owns Instagram. So either way, some of the tips that I'm going to share with you, if you want to do them on Instagram, knock yourself out, because I think it'll work either way. Because bottom line is Facebook and Instagram is where people's eyeballs are. And the key with marketing anything is that you need to be where people are. You need to be, if it used to be back in the day, before there was social media, there were like billboards, the busy intersections or whatever, where everybody was passing by that billboard. Well, maybe that's why people would charge so much for that billboard, because they had the attention, they had the eyeballs. Right now, everyone's on Facebook and Instagram, and the advertising compared to other platforms is relatively cheap. I mean, just to give you an idea, I mean, we back a few years ago, we did our own New Year's show. We kind of won this contest thing where the local newspaper, gave us a free ad. And an ad in the newspaper is extremely expensive. It's like $3,000 or something. They gave us a free ad on one day, and it didn't do anything for us. I mean, it just barely. I mean, because people just don't read the paper anymore. At least our target audience. So everybody's on Facebook. So that should be a given. Now, why am I talking about advertising, paid advertising versus just Facebook posts? You may be watching this, you're thinking, we've got a Facebook page, we've got an Instagram presence, we just post a lot, but what you've seen over the last few years with Facebook, I mean, it was a conscious decision that Facebook made. If you have a business on Facebook and of any sort, and they see a band as being a business, if you have a Facebook page, they made a executive decision that they were not going to show pages content in the feed as much as they would just friend to friend type of content. That's just the bottom line. And really, what it implied and what it basically said to these business owners, bands included, if you want to be on Facebook, if you want people who even follow your page to see your stuff, you got to pay for it. And you could bitch about it, you could be like, oh, this isn't fair, but it is what it is. So I always tell bands, I have a lot of bands that ask me about this. Look, if all you want to do is do the free stuff on Facebook, it is going to have very little effect. So spend the money. And that kind of brings me to my next topic, which is you cannot count on any bar or club owner to promote your shows. You have to promote your shows, and you have to spend money to do it. Now, I'm not talking about a lot of money. I mean, with our shows, I spend $10 to $20 per gig, at a max most of the time. If we're playing a local bar, that's all I'm gonna spend. And but that's really all it took. I started doing that 5.5 years ago, and we've built up a huge following. And you want people to like your page. You definitely want that. That's definitely something you want people to do, because it actually costs you less to promote to people who have liked your page than to people who haven't. And Facebook will start showing your ads more often to people who have liked your page. But and this also kind of brings me to the topic of money, of capital. It kind of drives me crazy when I talk to bands and they don't really have money to run their business. It's like they get paid from the bar owner or whatever, and they feel this need to like distribute the money evenly between everybody in the band, and they don't have any money left to actually run the business. Or even worse, I've seen bands that'll take all the money they get from the bar and the money that they get in the tip jar, and they distribute everything, and there's literally no money left to run the band. That's you can't run a business without capital. I mean, you just can't do it. You have to be able to promote things. I mean, you need to be able to pay a videographer maybe to come in and film you to make a great video for your band. How are you going to do that if you absolutely have literally no money in your bank account to run the business? So as a badass band leader, which is what this show is about, and I'll talk in future episodes about how we do the money and how other bands kind of do it, but I absolutely think it's something that you need to set a percentage aside at every gig, that's just like your savings essentially, if you want to think of it that way. But that's the capital that you need to run the business. And if you have steady gigs, that way you can sort of project and you can look forward and say, oh, we're making X amount of dollars for this gig. Then I'll have this percentage that I can use to buy ads on Facebook, or pay for the video to be created, or whatever you need. But and if you have band members that they can't, I mean, I remember I had this friend who was in a band where they would like distribute the money evenly, and then he went back to the band and was like, "Hey guys, we need business cards." Because people come up to you at the end of shows. A lot of times they'll say, "Hey, do you guys have a card?" Or "We have a wedding coming up. We want to book your band." So he just wants to have a business card. The drummer like gave him a hard time about, well, do we really need to spend $30 on business cards? Because the band leader was going back to the band members and asking them, to throw in like $5-10. I mean, this guy was so cheap he wouldn't come up with business card money. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I just, so if you have band members, I didn't really want this to be about money in the band, but it's such an important topic. You as the band leader, you have to set the rules. This is the way things are, and if you got somebody who's just that sort of distrusting about your band leading abilities, that they want to have access to all the money, I don't know, you might want to think twice about having that person in your band, frankly. Okay, so now so with okay, one of the biggest assets that I believe that you need to have in place before you really start going heavy with Facebook ads is you need to have a quality promo video, because video is really the thing that's going to help move the needle the most, for you to build up a Facebook following, or for you to have people who want to come to your shows. If you just post, think about it. If you're in the Facebook feed and you're looking for something to do on the weekend, maybe you want to go check out a band, and you have a band whose promo photo comes up, and maybe has some copy in there about how we play this type of music. It'll be a great show. Come to this place. I'm probably not going to be that excited. I'm going to want to check out your video. I'm going to want to see, what it's all about. And so that's why I think that, one of the best things that we did very early in our career is we had a quality promotional video. And we didn't lip sync, although I think it's certainly fine to do that. Do a live or a recording, the best recording that you can, and then go out and just lip sync to it. And because people, they don't necessarily need to know, oh, I'm watching this band playing live. What I'm hearing and what I'm seeing is the same thing. I mean, that's pretty cool, but I don't think that's necessary. Now, you certainly don't want to like. I was actually in a band that lip synced to tracks, so what you were hearing and what you're seeing in the video was not the actual band. I don't that was not cool. But people do want to hear what the actual band sounds like. So um, but my other big suggestion with the video is when you have it edited, that it needs to look exciting. Because what I see a lot of the mistakes that I see a lot of cover bands do is they'll have this video. It's like they had a buddy come into the bar while they were playing somewhere. They kind of look, they're not wearing the greatest clothes in the world. It doesn't sound that great, and they're showing the band up there. They don't look real excited. The crowd doesn't look real excited. I mean, that doesn't make me want to go see the band. You know, Remember, people are looking for something to do every weekend, but seeing your band is not one of them. One of what they really want to do, the key benefit that they're after on the weekend is they want to be entertained. They want to, a lot of people want to dance. A lot of women, a lot of ladies, they want to dance. They want to get to have their man take them out dancing. It's kind of a romantic thing. They want to get close on the dance floor, do all that. So if your band, that's what how our band marketed ourselves in the beginning, is that we were more like a dance band. We played a lot of 60s, 70s, and early 80s funk, soul, R&B, Motown, that kind of stuff. And in this market, it's huge. And so we really resonated with the desires of the market around here. And so that's how I marketed ourselves, is that our video had used what they call quick clips, where the video, like, it changes the scene like really quick, half a second or that kind of stuff. So it had a certain excitement with the video. The band sounded really good coming through the video, but it looked interesting coming through the feed, and it looked exciting. So it has to look like, at least for our band, it needed to look like, hey, this is a band that I would absolutely want to come out and dance to. And it looks like it's going to be a big party. It looks like it's going to be high energy. And what makes your band unique? Like with our band, the fact that we have a horn section, that makes us very unique. And so, certainly in the video, I would feature that. Now, I've got some other friends that are in very successful bands that are cover bands, but they play pretty much, full time. So, anybody can make a full time living playing in a cover band is somebody, you should learn from, frankly. And, so I have some good friends in the band called the Black Honkies. They've been around for 17 years. They're up in the Tampa, St. Pete, Florida area. And the Black Honkies, their marketing behind what they do, they really kind of put themselves out there. We're the party, and they do a great job of that in their shows. I mean, they've got a great front man who really gets people into their shows, gets the crowd real into it. Well, that's what their videos show, you know. And there's another successful band around here called No Filter. They play a lot of sort of newer music. They're a bunch of younger guys, kind of in their mid 20s, early 30s, and they put on a very unique show. They come out and they do this thing with the drums, and then they like have these glow in the dark drumsticks and all that. Well, that's what they put in their promo video. So when that comes through the news feed, you see that and you're like, wow, that's interesting. That looks entertaining, right? And so that's the type of thing that you want to have in a promo video. So I'd say that put time into that promo video, because that becomes an asset that you can use for years. I mean, we use the same promo video for at least 3 years, and we could still use it to this day. I mean, we're kind of doing things a little differently, but I know that No Filter, with the band with the drums and all that, I mean, they've used the same promo video now for a long time. But to somebody who's seeing it for the first time, it's new. So, okay, now why else would you want to do Facebook ads? Well, because it will get you likes to your page, and bar owners or festival promoters, anybody who's looking at booking you, they're going to look to see how many likes that you have to your page. It's just a stone fact. You might think it's unfair. Like there's this big debate sort of in the cover band community. Like, well, why is it my job to bring people to a bar? Why do I have to have a following? I'm the hired help. I'm supposed to be there to entertain their audience. You can think that, frankly, you can think that all you want. It's just, it's like, I don't know. It's just not true. I mean, from everything that I've seen, bar owners, if you show up and there's nobody there, they're going to blame the band. And you can say, well, they should promote our show. They're just not going to. I can't think of a bar that we've worked with. I mean, maybe a couple that, they put much effort. They're certainly not going to spend money to advertise your show. They're probably going to do what I was talking about before. They're going to do organic posts. Maybe they're going to create a Facebook event page, that goes out to their crowd, and that's cool. And they should do that. But as far as spending money to advertise your show, they're not going to do it. So it's up to you. So now, when you do advertise on Facebook and people like your post, like they like your ad, that doesn't mean that they've liked your page. You actually have to go into the Facebook post, like you click on the likes, and hopefully you have some likes. You click on those likes and you can invite. You actually have to go in and physically invite those people to go in and like your page. You just kind of remember to do it. It doesn't take much. I wish it was automated, but it's not. So that's a way to get people to start liking your page. But the other thing, the big benefit, with Facebook ads is that, to me, it's really where your promotion for your band should start. And it enables you later on to build an email list, to build a text messaging list, or SMS, if you want to call it that. And it's also eventually where I think all cover bands could eventually go, if you're good enough, is that you could start selling tickets to your own shows. But that starts with your Facebook following. That's why this is worthwhile to put investment money into this, because that was something that happened with us over a period of a few years. We started building up enough of a Facebook following that we knew we had enough of a crowd. We started with our own New Year's show. We did it about 3-4 years ago now. We sold 550 tickets for around $20, $30 a head. And it was very successful. I mean, we made like $11,000. And, it was a lot of work, but we knew that we could do it because we had a huge Facebook following. And then once we sold tickets to our Facebook following, we got the email list from Eventbrite, was the platform that we were using at the time. We don't use it anymore. We could do, that's a whole other topic. But you get the email list from Eventbrite of people who have purchased tickets to your show. Now you've got two assets. You've got your Facebook advertising, you got your Facebook following, I should say, and now you have your email list. And then you can start promoting different ways, because different people check email. Some people check Facebook a lot. Some people do both. Some people constantly look at their phone to check their text messages. That's why you want to build up a text message list. But you can advertise your text message list on your Facebook page. I believe it really all starts there. Now, you may be wondering, okay, so I'm all right, you convinced me on the Facebook ads thing. So as far as when to do it, how long, I usually only advertise for 3 or 4 days leading up to the weekend. So if you're playing on a Friday night, maybe start your ads on a Wednesday, maybe Tuesday at the earliest. Because I honestly don't think that most people, if they're just going to go out to a bar on Friday or Saturday night, watch some bands, hang out, have a few drinks, dance a little bit, they're not going to make that decision until probably sometime between Wednesday and Friday. They're thinking, oh, what am I going to do this weekend? I've got a buddy in town. What are we going to do? So they see your ad. If your ad is good, if your video is good, then maybe they'll make that decision to go ahead and come. You do want to set up a Facebook event page. I think that's a great idea. Now, the downside with the Facebook event page, if you don't have anybody coming, and you show the number of attendees or the number of people who are interested, it kind of looks empty. So, but I think what we've seen, that's why I didn't do Facebook event pages to begin with in the very beginning, but I've since have kind of came along with that, because so many more people are starting to look at Facebook event pages, and they kind of, when they want to know when our band is playing, they never venture off Facebook. It's amazing. We have our full schedule on our website when we're playing. A lot of people just don't look at it. If it's not on Facebook, they just assume that we're not playing. So that's why it's kind of a drag. I wish it would sync with our Google Calendar, but it doesn't. So we have to go in and set up separate Facebook event pages. Plus, you might want to ask the venue if they set up a Facebook event page, ask to be a co-host of that event page. They can add you. It's pretty easily done. But that way, you get the benefit of getting, because a lot of bars and nightclubs, they're going to have, some of them have 3,000-5,000 people on their that like their Facebook page. You want to be associated with that so people start liking your page. But as far as like running the actual Facebook ads, the beauty with it is that you can, and I need to clarify, I'm not talking about boosting posts, okay? There's nothing wrong with boosting posts. You've probably seen that. I know you have. If you have a Facebook page and you've ever put a post out, Facebook constantly gets you to try to spend money on their advertising platform, and they just say, hey, you can boost this post for $10 or whatever. That's kind of like Facebook advertising light. It's like an entry point for Facebook ads. And, it's cool to start there, but it's kind of like it's a limited version. So, it doesn't have a lot of the same capabilities that the Facebook Ads Manager has. Now, Ads Manager is a complex thing to use. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's something, and in fact, that's why I'm going to be releasing a Facebook advertising course to walk people through go through it on screen video to show you exactly how to use the platform, because Facebook advertising's platform is pretty complex. I mean, it's one of the most, advanced advertising platforms in the world. So, but it's worth knowing how to use it because it enables you to target people by some of the craziest stuff. You can target people by their age group, if they like certain types of music, if they frequent live shows, if they like to go to music festivals, stuff like that. Frankly, with our targeting, especially if I'm just targeting people to go to a bar that want to go out dancing or something, I'm just going to target people usually based on age. Maybe if they like certain types of music, but I've just seen, it worked pretty well because, a lot of people like to go out, on the weekends and just go dance, and they just want to, so you don't have to get super targeted. Now, but you can start, as people start responding to your ads over time, Facebook tracks all that stuff, and you can build what are called lookalike audiences of people who have responded to your ad, and Facebook's going to get smarter about who they show your ads to. Because if you're only spending $10-$20 to advertise your show, you can target an audience that has a total of 500,000 people, but it's only going to show it to a few hundred. So you want Facebook to show it to the people that are most likely to respond. Facebook's algorithm will pick up on that over time. So, again, this is something that's it's more advanced, and I'll be covering this in the Facebook ads course that I'll release. How to get good at this stuff, but it's absolutely something that you do want to be good at. Subscribe to this channel on YouTube, or if you're listening on the podcast, be sure to subscribe, and that'll tell you when I'm about to release the course. And I think you'll get a ton out of it. But again, start doing Facebook ads. You don't have to wait for the course. Start with a great video. That is absolutely key. And get honest opinions. Go to somebody who's not going to tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. If your video that you're using to promote your band hasn't been giving you a lot of traction, there may be a reason for that. I see a lot of, frankly, pretty crappy cover band videos. It's worth spending, and go and look on Facebook. There's like some of the corporate bands that are out there that are playing a lot of high-end weddings that are getting paid 10 grand plus to do weddings or corporate events and stuff like that. Look at their videos. These are because they know that the videos can make or break them getting those type of high dollar gigs. Look at the quality that they're putting out. Think about, is that, is my video up to snuff like that? So anyway, something to think about. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Leave me notes, and I will see you next time.